Niddah Daf Ayin. It's a very exciting day today. It's the Sima Shas. Mazel Tov to the entire Klal Yisrael for being Messiah Shas. Welcome to the over 3,000 new subscribers that we had today. We should all be Zoicha to start and finish Shas together. Mazel Tov. We're continuing with the people of Alexandria who asked Rabbi Yeshua ben Chananya 12 questions. 3 of them were in Halacha, 3 in Agada, 3 were Stam Shtus, and the Gemara says, and the other 3 were in Derech Eretz. In Halacha, one of the questions was, Mitzorah brings 3 korbanos, a chatos, asham, and a oila. What happens if you have 2 Mitzorahim that the 2 groups of korbanos got mixed up? If they were both alive, Reuven and Shimon, it's not a problem. You bring all the korbanos and you just make it now. You say, if I'm bringing Reuven's, it should go for Reuven, and if I'm bringing Shimon's carbon, I'm makriv it now, it should go for Shimon. If Reuven dies first, before he's able to be makriv his korbanos, that's also not a problem. You take 2 chatais, you put them in a room, and you let them die. The question that they asked was, what happens if 3 out of the 6 korbanos were nekrav, and then Reuven dies? What does Shimon do? If Shimon were to bring the chatas that's left over, perhaps it's owned by Reuven, and you're not allowed to bring a carbon, a chatas shemesu ba'aleha, a chatas that the owner died is usher to be makriv. The Gemara says we have a great idea. Shimon could just write all his belongings off to somebody else, and then he's considered poor, and as a poor person, he could bring a bird chatas. And a bird chatas he could bring besafek. You can make a condition, whereas an animal chatas you cannot bring besafek. Now what about the asham? There's a 3-way machlokes how to understand the pasuk, v'imloi tasig b'tarasai. Tarasai meaning, according to Reb Shimon, the question is, when does a person get locked in as a rich person, as a wealthy person, and when does a person get locked in as a poor person? For instance, if a person brought 1 out of the 3 korbanos and then he won the lottery, or he lost all his belongings, is he considered poor or is he considered rich? According to Reb Shimon, it goes by the chatas. Once you bring the chatas, tarasai means his kapara, which means the chatas. From that point on, he's considered whatever he is. So if he started out rich, he's locked in as rich, even if he lost all his money. According to Rabbi Yehuda, it's based on the asham. Tarasai means his ability to eat taharis, kachim, to go into the Beis HaMikdash. And according to Rabbi Eliezer, it's what triggers the whole process, and that is the tziparim, the bird. So according to Rabbi Yehuda, who says that what creates a wealthy person is the asham, so it depends. If he already was makriv the asham, now he's already wealthy. And as a wealthy person, he cannot write off his nechasim to somebody else. It's too late. He's considered wealthy, and he'll have nothing to do. He won't be able to bring a chatas. According to Reb Shimon, you could bring, even if you were makriv the asham, you could bring another asham, because it's not what locks you in is the chatas, and therefore I could bring the chatas. According to Shmuel, Shmuel says a little bit like one and a little bit like the other. According to Shmuel, if the asham wasn't brought yet, there's nothing you can do, but if the asham was brought yet, you can bring it as a tanai. Now they continue asking questions in Agada. It says in the pasuk, HaKadosh Baruch Hu doesn't desire the death of people. On the other hand, it says, by the children of Eli Akayin, Chafni and Pinchas, the Rishayim, it says, Chafetz Hashem lahamisam. Hashem desired their death. Says the Gemara, when they do tshuva or they're going to do tshuva, then Hashem doesn't want their death. But since HaKadosh Baruch Hu knew that they're not going to do tshuva, so he wanted their death. It says in one pasuk, HaKadosh Baruch Hu doesn't show favoritism. On the other hand, it says in the pasuk that Hashem does show favoritism. Yisa Hashem panav elecha. Says the Gemara, once HaKadosh Baruch Hu does a gzar din on a person, there's no going back. You can't uproot a gzar din. They explain there is a way through crying with tears, or there's a way to make it sweeter, but you cannot uproot a gzar din. And that's what the pasuk means. Yisa Hashem panav elecha is talking about before the gzar din. One pasuk says, Ki bochar Hashem b'tzion, Hashem chose Tzion. The other pasuk says, Alapi v'al chamasi, HaKadosh Baruch Hu doesn't want Tzion. Says the Gemara, this is before Shlomo HaMelech married the daughter of Pari, and this is after Shlomo HaMelech married the daughter of Pari. That's it. HaKadosh Baruch Hu doesn't want Tzion. The 3 shtusim that the people of Alexandria asked Rabbi Yeshua ben Chananya are the Ashes Light's wife, who turned around and turned into a mound of salt. Does the mound of salt have tumas meis? Is it considered a dead person? And he answered, a dead person has tumah, salt does not have tumah. What about Ben Hashunamis? Elisha did Tchias HaMesim to the child. When he was dead, the child had Tumah. When the child had Tchias HaMesim and he's alive, walking around, is he considered a dead man walking? Is there Tumah to this child? And he said, dead people have Tumah, alive people don't have Tumah. And then they asked him, what about the dead people who died Bitumah? Explains Tosfos. If they were tummy when they died, and then this Tchias HaMesim, do they require the Hazah of the Para Aduma or not? According to one Lashon in the Gemara, he told them, when the time comes, we'll answer when this Tchias HaMesim. The other answer was, why don't we ask Moshe Rabbeinu, who's going to wake up with Tchias HaMesim? And then they asked him, Derech Eretz, what should a person do to become smart in Torah? And he said, they should sit in yeshiva and learn a lot and do less business. So he said, but a lot of people tried that and didn't work successfully. So he said, yes, you need a combination of learning Torah, less business, but davening for the atzlacha in learning. And then they asked, what should a person do in order to become wealthy? And he said, they should be marbe b'schar, should do more business. In fact, the Vilna Gaon takes that out. He didn't like that part. The Vilna Gaon held you should learn more, not work more. And you should deal in business be'emunah, with integrity. He said a lot of people have done it and they weren't successful. He said, you must daven. It's a combination of doing more business and davening. What should a person do in order to have banim scharim? First of all, he should marry a isha higenesloi, a proper woman. He should act with tznius during tashmish, b'gedusha. And they said, but a lot of people have done that and they weren't successful in having banim scharim. He said, you must daven. It's all about davening. What is the pshat in the pasuk? Sechar priya batem. Says the Gemara, an amazing concept, that a person has to act with his spouse. If a person is careful that he shouldn't enjoy himself before his wife, then he'll be zoicha to banim scharim. Have a wonderful day and mazel tov.